Welcome back to Streamboard number 1, and it's a very large hello to the very large Boris Krcmar, up against last year's Challenge Tour champion from the UK, Jim Williams, who is here to stay, you would feel. He starts with the bullseye win, and he will start this match off best of 11 once again. But Michael Smith is out.
Yes, he is. First defeats ever at the hands of Keane Barry for the Bully Boy at the 4th attempt. Went into that one with a 3-0 lead in the head-to-head standings, but it didn't count for anything today. Barry impressive with an average of 94.5 in a 6-2 win against the number 4 seed, the world number 5, Michael Smith. But yeah, very contrasting sort of occasion, this one, between these two, Krcmar and Williams. Williams, of course, the man who came through the UK Challenge Tour last year, topping the Order of Merit to take his place in the PDC Pro Tour field as one of the 128 tour card holders. Made his appearance at the World Championship as well as a result of that at Ali Pali in December, beaten by Joe Cullen on that occasion.
170. Oh, that's sublime from Jim Williams. Great thinking, because there's 25 left to finish, but getting the bullseye leaves the easier out. And Krcmar so far has had 5 treble 20s in this leg, and he might lose it after leaving 1-2-1 after 9. It will be very similar to what happened yesterday to him against Johnny Clayton, another Welsh player, of course. But Williams, one of 3 Williams in this draw: Louis, Scott, 51. And Jim.
$83.
Well, Krcmar's left himself double 19. Williams is looking at a slightly more orthodox 84 here. Once again into the treble 5, so 69 away. No, and he's missed the big number there as well, so a shake of the head and a roll of the eyes for Jim Williams. A pretty unforgivable visit, that one. Krcmar now looking at 38. He's going straight for this double 19. No messing about from Boris, and Krcmar has stolen that one right from underneath the nose of Jim Williams, who may well be reflecting on that missed opportunity.
If you're looking for an oil painting or some sort of print of a beautiful shot at double 19, that will cut it, because that really was in the epicenter of that 38 bed. And I would say that to Boris's face, because let's face it, he is a giant, and I'm not going to say anything negative about him in this match, that's for sure. But he is
45.
An intimidating soul, but he's a teddy bear, really.
He's a gentle giant, I think it's safe to say. I wouldn't mess with him, though.
Oh, no. On the dartboard as well, he is an incredible talent. And what I love about Boris Krcmar as well is he's flying the flag for that area of the world. The likes of Serbia, Croatia, Slovenia. The Balkan area has a lot of great dart players, but this guy is better than them all. He deserves to be here. He's a world-class player.
Yeah, and he's revered in that part of the world as well, as we've mentioned on numerous occasions. Big sporting star in the Balkans, in Croatia in particular.
There are some other nations starting to get some traction with their players. I saw a bit of Patrick Kovac at the Gibraltar Darts Trophy, and he gave Rob Cross a bit of a scare. And Oliver Ferenc, remember him?
Yeah, I do.
104.
Yeah, good player. We could see some of him in the next few seasons. I hope we do. But so far, this match is very high in quality, and Krcmar, who lost with 100 average against Clayton yesterday, is looking to have the same kind of form, if not better, to find his way into round 2 to play against Keane Barry.
Game shot.
Well, nicely done for Boris Krcmar. That double 20 was very confidently taken out, wasn't it? Straight down the middle, and no messing around from Boris. Jim Williams did have a smattering of appearances on the Pro Tour last year. He actually made the 4th round on 3 occasions, but was unable to get the better of Krzysztof Kachuk, Ross Smith and Michael Smith respectively in any of those. As for Krcmar, 2 quarter-final appearances last year, but had the misfortune of coming up against an on-fire Ryan Searle on both occasions. Searle winning one of those matches 6-0 with an average of 111 as well. Not really a great deal that Boris could do about that on that particular occasion.
He did enough to keep his card.
That was the significant thing,
just.
yeah. And those sort of, well, those two performances, when you look back, they were big wins or big days for Boris.
Yeah, he got himself
100
into the Grand Slam, of course, which is where he played Jim Williams the only time he's ever met him. When you play Jim Williams, you've got to have a level of patience because he's not the quickest player, but by no means is he slow. He's just meticulous, whereas Krcmar is a bit more organic. It's a throw that's all his own. That full extension of the arm, back and through, and making those 180s look easy.
I mean, we've seen from Boris before that, notably when I think he announced himself on well, not on a big stage, but to a wider audience when he had that epic match against Michael Smith at the UK Open, where he threw in an average of 108 or something. I mean, Smith afterwards wasn't surprised because he's seen Boris on the practice board backstage. He knows what he can do. But I think this could be a big year for Boris. I really do. I think he's got something about him, and I think, you know, he's clearly got the talent. It's just whether he can apply himself on a consistent basis. Double 13 here for Williams for a showstopper, but not to be.
Could be 3-0 down here, Williams. He hasn't played that badly. Double 10. First miss at a double for Boris. He goes back up top.
Game shot.
That's a lovely hit to give himself the halfway point, and Jim Williams has got problems. I'm with you, though, about Krcmar. I think he's going to have a good season. But one of my favourite moments of his first year on tour was when we were playing in Niedenhausen at the Autumn Series. He's playing Michael Smith.
140.
And just when you think that Michael Smith is one of the most innovative players in finishing legs off, he really did fool the spotter that day because he had 70 left. And he went double 17, double 18. Absolute genius. It's not the right way to go, but you love to see it now and again.
180.
Well, he's playing with a huge amount of confidence as well, and he just looks very relaxed out there. I think I've seen him on the European tour before, where he looks to be, you know, sweating profusely up on the stage and under the big lights. But today he looks very calm and very measured.
4 180s, 1 per leg so far. That's a very healthy return. He's allowed that one. You've got to hit one at some point. And quite frankly, he was just getting it out the way to leave 60 after 9. What a scoring performance in leg 4.
$139.
Well, a simple formula here for Krcmar for 4-0. 2 bites at tops. The finishing in the main has been good. He's been taking it out in 1 visit, but not on this occasion.
Williams had a look at 146 after 2 treble 20s. It's 2 different trebles that are needed here. Treble 19 this time, and he does get a shot at double 19.
117.
Small margins in this game are costing Jim Williams big.
Well, that's twice, though, that he's had to take out the big numbers to get himself on the scoreboard. The problem is with Williams, he's not getting himself into position. It's the approach play that's let him down. It's all well and good taking out these big numbers when you do, but the fact is he's over-reliant on it. And Krcmar is the exact opposite. And he's once again had time on his side there. 109.31 the average 100. For Krcmar as well. You know, he's done this before. It's no surprise to those that have watched Boris on occasion.
It is sublime, but I think he's going to get better throughout the course of the season. Just going back to what you were saying about the possibilities with Boris, I think his first year on tour in 2020, it was all a bit shell-shocking for him because he didn't really know how the PDC system worked. He's had a lot of help from Mensa Sulevic's manager Mick Lang, and I think he's more in tune with steel-tip darts now as opposed to soft-tip darts, because let's face it, he's not going to be travelling from where he lives all the way to Southeast Asia, Japan, China, all these other places he used to go with soft-tip. He's not going to be doing that right now. So playing more steel-tip,
59.
He's just going to get better and better and better.
I know it's a different bullseye, of course, different size bullseye in soft tip as well, but for a player who has such soft tip pedigree, I've said it before as well in commentary that Krcmar, when he's had the opportunity to go for the bullseye, when it's been prudent 99. To do so, he's not taken those opportunities. And you think for someone who has that experience that he would go for it a little bit more. He seems almost afraid to go for it at times, I think. If he could just open up that angle of his game, it might even be much more successful for him.
Well, everything's going according to plan in this game so far, causing Jim Williams all sorts of bother.
100.
I don't think that's enough, because Krcmar will be looking to leave 81 here. I think he's going to do it as well.
81.
Oh, just slips into the one to offer Williams a little bit of hope.
Well, again, Williams perhaps reliant on the big finish. He's got the first treble 20. And he's strayed next door once again.
83 left. So 17s will be calling him.
92.
He's himself looking at 66 if given the chance. Ooh, 18s. Showing a bit of board flexibility there, Boris Krcmar.
Yeah, he does like the 16s finish when it suits him, but it might well be that
92.
This one is going to slip through his fingers. It's on the Williams throw anyway, so it's no real great damage done for Boris as far as that's concerned if he takes it out. Double 8 here, though, for Williams to get a leg on the scoreboard. And my word, he could do with it.
Game shot.
And he's used that first dart very nicely indeed as well, just shepherding it alongside. And Williams is off and running. He's still got a lot of work to do here. But 4-0 becomes 4-1.
3 fabulously thrown darts there. A really clinical bullseye, and even the miss was a very well thrown shot. It just didn't hit. But he was able to hit half of double 8 when he needed to, because otherwise he was going to be 5-0 down. Just looking through the games on the outside boards, we've mentioned about Gerwyn Price being the first person through to round 2. He was joined soon after by Damon Heta, but other players through. Yesterday's champion Luke Humphreys. He beat Jules Van Dongen. And the finalist 62. From yesterday, Ryan Searle, was involved in a right ding-dong battle with Ted Everts, both averaging 98, but Searle comes through 6 legs to 5.
Do you know if Williams is still keeping up the day job as well? He was a joiner, wasn't he? Is he still doing that? 60. Because he said before that he's often found it difficult to commit to the top level, to making this leap.
Yeah, he's going to be the next player that we talk about in 5 years who is still doing the day job and playing professional darts, because the first person really to do that was Mark Webster. He's now a commentator, but when he was in the Premier League he was still plumbing. We have, of course, talked about Johnny Clayton
100.
In that ilk quite a lot, but the fact of the matter is Jim Williams likes his day job. It's successful, and he uses darts as another
60.
vocation, something he's very good at.
Yeah, it can be a trap, though. You can find yourself in that no man's land, if you like, between making the leap from what you do on a regular basis to making that full-time commitment to, you know, putting in the hours on the practice
100.
board, the 7-8 hours a day that perhaps certain players need.
I've got to say, when I had to make that decision back in 2008, it was one of the most difficult decisions of my life. I was earning 6 figures in Australia. I had the company car, I had the job I always dreamed of, but then when darts came calling, there was only really one answer. You only get one life, got to give it a crack, and boy, I'm glad I did.
100.
$20 for tops. 19. Yeah, 19. He thought he'd actually hit the treble, so it's a good job he checked. That's an excellent first dart at the 20s. Tops now for Krcmar.
Things are changing here, especially if this goes in for Williams.
17's calling once again, and this time he's got it.
$51.
Well, the second dart was even slightly further away, and well, that could have been the break of throw that Williams craved. As it is, Krcmar has the let-off, but he still needs to find his way through here. And he does so with the second dart in hand, and he's re-established that 4-leg lead, and he's now 1 away from a passage into the second round. And the last 64 awaits for Boris Krcmar.
I think it's quite funny, actually. Our referee in this match, Andrew Davies,
97.
when he was asked, is that a 19? I would have turned around and said, what do you want it to be, Boris? Great professional Andrew Davies, who has been working for the PDC for a very long time now, deserves all the credit he can be heaped on. But 5 180s for Krcmar now. He has been the king of that stat.
60.
Never forget the first day I ever met Boris Krcmar. It was in a very large darts venue in
100.
Hong Kong. He sneaked up behind me and just took a selfie. I've still got it. It's quite a funny one, actually. But I remember watching Boris playing soft tip in the quarterfinals that day.
97.
And he was just so good. But boy, is he transversed into a heavyweight steel tip player. I think he could do what Mensasulovic has done, as he gets another 180. And this one's going to be over in the next 9 darts, you would feel.
Beautifully set up. 6 180s, and the finishing hasn't been bad either. That's why the average is nudging towards 99 in what has been a fairly dominant and a very emphatic performance so far for Boris Krcmar. 2 darts away now. That's the simple part of the equation. Double 18 inside for double 9. Williams on 147 waiting in the wings
23.
in the last chance saloon. I just wonder about that route there.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting him to go 5 double 18. Sometimes he just thinks, oh, I'll have a crack
60.
at that route. But double's a double for Krcmar. Double 9. Job done. 6 180s in the match. Sensational from